Hi, Dave Knight here from 123daytrade.com. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Today is Wednesday, October 24th, 2018, and I'm on day 3 of my detox. As you can see, the computers are on behind me, and I will continue through this week without turning on those the trading computer side. And now you can see the my gaming computer's on, and also the where I'm talking to you one-on-one. I have received the best wisdom and advice over the last, since I put my video out on Sunday, that I have, what a wonderful community that we have at Top Step Trader. And let me say that the minority of my audience, which is the female side, had the best advice that I have ever received at the right time. And without saying her name, my heart out to you. And another gentleman talked about some other things, like another email that was sent was one and done. So I want to share some of the idea. Well, I'm going to share 2 of the ideas. One idea was one and done, and that's something that might appeal to me, might not. Probably won't, because I just not the way I trade. There's too many days that I lose that opening trade and then win that second one or the third one. But what I want to do is share some wisdom that was shared to me, rewritten. It's her words rewrote into my way of thinking things. But it's I would say that 90% of everything that outside, when I start saying I'm sharing, is coming from her. And if she wants to recognize herself, then that's up to her. But very, very wise, very, very extremely smart individual that struggles like all of us. And right now, I want to give her all my love, as far as she made it through the combine, and she's in funded trader preparation right now. And I am looking forward to hearing her success story as a funded trader and continued funded trader at Top Step Trader. So, and even if you have to take a minor hiccup, it's not the end of the world. I believe that you have an awesome plan. Stick to it. All right. So the quote that I want to go with, if I would talk about a quote, the quote that got me thinking when I picked up a book was Bruce Lee. He has some good quotes out there, and the quote that just kind of struck a nerve with me, and I'll let you know when I'm going off into the tangent with what was shared with me. But right now I want to talk about the quote and then move into the talk, and pretty much read word for word what I wrote down, and then talk about how I plan to attack the market when I get back. And anyway, here's the quote from Bruce Lee. "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Think about the logic to that quote right there. That is probably a lot of us as traders, that we are trying all kinds of stuff out there, and we know like this works, and if I concentrate on that one kick and become extremely good at that one kick, then that is probably the way of moving past the point of being able to move on. I know that in my past, where I'm the most disciplined as a trader, and I accept things that I can accept, and basically it all comes down to accepting the loss limit for me. So accepting the things that I can't change, and stop trying to change things that there's no way in hell that I can change, and nor will they change it. So we talked about that last time, right? The max daily loss. All right, so 5 minutes. Let's get into the heart of what I want to talk about here. And the email subject line was great, and it basically said, "Don't quit." And that, and to be completely honest, I waited, I think, about 2 or 3 days to open up that email. And it's not anything that against any individual. I just know that those that know, I have a few haters out there that like to jump on the bandwagon at times and try to beat me down. And so how I fight it a lot of times is to wait until I'm in a better frame of mind before I open up my email or any email or read any comment, because of the negativity that can surround some of the video content that I put up. And that's not your fault. That's just me, how I have to handle it on my side. And hopefully I can get to the point where, I can just let things wash off and dust off of myself. But usually I'm fine. But at times, honestly, yeah, I'm human and things do affect my breathing. So let's get on to what she wrote, and I kind of rewrote it into my wording to help me get a grasp of how I would like to pursue the next phase of my trading career when I'm ready to start. Don't quit. It is possible to stay funded. A lot of people are and have been funded, and I know you can stay funded too. First mission. So I started looking for ways to be able to accept the loss limit. You have to accept the loss limit. There's a lot of wisdom in that wording right there. I needed to know that trading could be done and done consistently with the limits. Second mission. You have to figure out how to make, you have to figure out how to make myself, you have to figure out how to make yourself stop clicking when you're upside down. Set the loss limit. 1. Why do I always trade to the limit and not stop? 2. How do I make myself stop clicking? 3. How to stop without feeling like a failure and quitter. Problem, and this is the key point that she stressed, and was something that it was going on with her, and it's obviously going on with me. But the key point is self-control. Problem that I wrote down that she addressed as well. Self-control issue. I can stay disciplined for a while, then I can have a weak day or a weak moment and destroy everything. How many of us can relate to that? The thing I learned after a lot of research is that discipline doesn't work for anyone or everyone. The only way a person can continue to act in a certain way over and over again without falter is truly believe deep down that they are not sacrificing something by making the decision to act that way. You hear those words right there? This is coming from a woman with a ton of wisdom and advice. If you're listening, if your head is open and your eyes can see and your ears are hearing. When you have to stop trading due to the loss limit, you feel like you are can't even read my own. Oh. Yeah, it sucks to get older. Look, I got my glasses down. I need to get my glasses I got an appointment. I just did my blood work to get done, to get my was it the A1 numbers, A1 something, anyway, diabetic numbers, so that they have the 3-month numbers and all that happy horse shit that I have to get through. And then we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's go back to that train of thought again. When you have to stop trading due to the loss limit, you feel like you are having to give up or sacrifice something, or you would not continue to trade against the limits. It wouldn't be such a struggle to follow the rules if you didn't feel you are giving or if you don't feel you're giving something up. So what are you giving up by stopping the trading when you should? The answer, and this was this is, you know how you have those light bulb moments that go off in your lifetime? Um, Here was a light bulb moment that she wrote in this wonderful written email. The answer to this question lies in the answer to your trading success. And I wrote down, she put 3 problems down. I don't want to share her 3 problems, but what I wrote down on my 3 problems: 1, dreams; 2, belief; 3, outsmart. Now it's using, I don't want to share every little detail of her story, but 1, we all have a dream that are traders, that where we want to be, right? 2, we have a belief that we can succeed, otherwise we wouldn't can keep going at it. And 3, we think illogically that we might be able to outsmart the market and outthink it. And the way she brilliantly put it together, and I mean, I've thought about these things before. It's not like we're teaching to the preaching to the choir here. We're, you know, what forces us to trade into the loss limit? Is it the 1 time that we get out of it, or the 8 or 9 times that we lose against it? So and that was the key point that I want to pull out. So if there's a key point to this, here it is. The probabilities in actuality show that if I push my loss limit, the chance of blowing my trading account and trading out of control is way higher than if I didn't push the limit. Did you hear that? Did you hear what was just said right there? The struggle that you have against a fixed amount. The fixed amount for, and she's talking about a different trading. I'm talking about the 30K account. I believe she's talking about the 50K account. The 30K account has a lower loss limit, correct? But that's about the only difference. Outside of, they have the 1,000 weekly loss that I've talked about in the past as well. So if there were 2 preferable trading combines to be in, I believe that you need to be either in the 30 or the 50K. They're both, for me personally, it's a 30K, because I know that I don't want to push that 1,000 weekly loss, and I don't have the discipline to trade the 50K. I wished I did. That's where I am. I only have the discipline to trade the 30K account right now. Maybe someday I'll get to the point where, you know, the steward that the Bible talks about can be trusted with more. I want to be, right now, I am you look at the parable of the talents. I want to be the steward that's got the 2 talents and goes and gets 2 more. But I believe for a long time I've been the steward that had the 1 talent and buried it. And that's not doing anything for me or for my family or anything. It's just, you know, I'm not the 5 talent guy that gets 5 more. I'm that BC student that's trying to have 2 talents to make 2 more. That's where I am. I recognize, and I think that's where my point is to recognize where you are in your trading career and trade that way. So if you have more trading discipline to trade the 50K account, then I would say that that's where you need to be, because you got the higher loss limit. You got, you know, you can trade a little bit differently than on the 30K account with the 50 tick or 500 stop loss that you really don't, like we talked about, you don't have 500. If you hit 500 max daily loss, you have failed the combine. It's not a truly $500 loss limit. It's $499.99 loss limit. And if you go to that $500 mark, it is an event that you have to re-ante some money, basically, right? And yeah, we talked about it's a lot cheaper to re-ante $100 than have to come up with an extra, you know, 1,500 or 2,500, excuse me, or any amount that's above and beyond that amount, right? And in a truly funded futures account which you're putting your own money on risk. All right, so let's restate that paragraph. And I believe I wrote this down word for word the way she said it to me. The probabilities in actuality show that if I push my limit, and I wrote down my loss limit, the chance of blowing my trading account and trading out of control is way higher than if I didn't push the limit. Simply because how I have traded and blown the account so many times trading this way. And I agree to this statement. This is something that I do. I get to the point, and I call it the WTF mentality. I get to the point where I just say, what the F? And I pull that stop way out of the way, and I say, all right, market, hit my stop. I double dog dare you, or I triple dog dare you. And guess what? 7 to 8 times out of 10, it's going to hit that mark. If not, and knock me out and make me have to smack the Mac and ante in another $100. It's not the right way of thinking, though. So, must get rid of the belief that I can outsmart and outtrade my way from a losing day. To realize I need to get rid of the belief that is a good thing to keep. I need to realize I need to get rid of the belief that it is a good thing to keep trying to trade my way out of trading losses. You need to look at your mental state and realize and see trading to the limits is killing your trading, not giving you more opportunity. So, as I've talked about in the past, and where I'm strongest at in my trading, is when I realize that I got to live to fight. In other words, live to trade another day. And she visualizes and puts some stuff out that I won't share, but mental motivation or things that can get you stopping. She went to the point that she writes down something and to stop her from doing it. I mean, it's a really good mental and physical discipline that she's doing. For me, it's that mental image of seeing the Waterboy, the movie, the Waterboy, and live to fight another day. If you go to my 1, 2, 3 day trade, and you go through the start here or welcome or whatever that first page is off to the side, and go down there, you'll see that, hey, you got to live to fight, live to trade another day. And if you click that, the Waterboy episode, the 15-second clip comes up of you got to live to fight, or you got to live to trade, you got to live to fight another day. The way the guy says it with his Louisiana accent, right? So it makes me chuckle to this day. And if I can visualize that in my trading, then it normally stops me from trading. So yeah, I got to get back to that visualization of seeing the mental image of the Waterboy and the coach talking at that point. Live to trade and live to fight another day, right? Once I see that mental image, and maybe that's what needs to be up on my board that I've been quoted, messy board and whatnot, or put up there on my vision board. That's probably a good place to put it, is on the vision board behind you, and to remember that there's always the next trading day. So another way, I have to force myself every day until it becomes a habit. Now, let me talk about habits for just a very short period of time that's coming from my own personal knowledge that I want to share. Zig Ziglar said, I believe that you have to do something 25 days in a row at minimum to make it a habit. So self-affirmation statements. Now, one of the things I got on my mirror that I used to read, and I should say I need to get back to it, is I have these affirmation statements on my mirror as I'm getting ready in the morning, and I'll read 1 or 2 of them, and I used to read them out loud before I would start trading, like the fear of the losing, and all these other affirmation statements that are on my mirror upstairs that came from Zig Ziglar's notes. So let's wrap up this video here and see if we're on the 20-minute mark. So I have to set a loss limit. Now, what I'm going to say at this point, and I like the wisdom that she shared. Now, she has a different loss limit and a different thing that she's doing. But what I'm going to hold myself to at this point is this. Unless I feel that I can go further, but this is what I've given myself. I have a loss limit. When I get to a $250 loss, I have one more trade. And that is using her words into the way that I'm going to approach the 30K account. So the $250 loss is one half of 500. If I give myself one more shot at it, and even if it's 20 ticks, that puts it at 45 ticks. So that's the reason behind why, it's at 25. But once I hit that 25, now realize that if that loss at 250 runs you to 35, there's probably needs to be another rule there that if your 25 or whatever your loss limit that you have. Now with the 50K account, you don't have to have that loss limit, right? Because if you're at 25 and your next trade is 20 ticks away at 45, you're nowhere near that $1,000 loss limit that you can have at 50K. But on the 30K account, you got to realize where you are. So losing 30 ticks and then taking on that next trade at 20 will lose the account. So that puts you at 50 and you'll lose. So all of a sudden you got to figure out, and you got to do a little mental math, or you got to get out the little calculator and figure out where can you lose that next trade to. Or better yet, if you're brave enough to stop at that point, live the fight, live the trade another day. So what I'm saying to myself is 25 ticks and one more trade. So once I hit that, that's where I have to stop my trading. If that one more trade is a loser, I am done. I realize the market is not working with my trading system this day. Tomorrow is another day. For some reason, I find this easier to accept than a steadfast limit. I have to mentally figure out how to get myself to make and take the next mental step, leap, whatever. So most of that rewording was basically word for word what was sent to me in an email content and another email. So there's two things that I want to stress, and one of them, a trading strategy, is the one and done. Is the one and done the answer? That means if I go at one and done, which can be a successful system if you have the mental discipline to take it on. So one and done means you take your best trading opportunity, and win or lose, you take it on. That gives you the ability to take on the 1R stop, right? So you have the 20 tick stop on the 30K account, and you're going after, in this case, I would tell you that I'm going to be going after a 3P target. Win or lose is one and done. So where do you move to break even? So there's still some things I have to work out. So I'm not giving up on the one and done at this point. I like some of it. I dislike the other part of it because I believe that I can get my way, and there I go again. I'm thinking about how I can get my way out of a loss that would take me at maximum loss at 20 ticks, right? So that's where I have to sit down and think out that more logically and clearly to come up with something. The second one is a little bit more appealing to me, is the 25 ticks and one more. That's a little bit more appealing to me as a trader because that gives me the flexibility to be around 35 to 40 ticks on that next loss. If I take on 10 to 15 ticks somewhere in that area, a 12 tick loser by 2 is 24. That's close enough to be at one more. That would put you at 36 off of 3. So that would stop you, at 14, at 15, you're at 45. So do you stop at 30 ticks? Do you stop at 45 ticks. You can trade three trades and be at minus 45 in the day and not lose the combine, funded or any other. You got to be careful about slippage in the real account and the funded account, though. So you got to take into account slippage in a fast-moving market if you're trading in the funded account. I've lost the funded account due to slippage before, so that's why I want to bring that out as well. So 15 ticks in 3 trades, you think, well, I'm going to be at 45 ticks. Well, if each one of those you take 2 ticks of slippage, you're going to fail. So that 45 ticks is then 51. So you lose that extra amount, and you lose your funded account because you hit max daily loss. So realize that you get positive slippage in the combine and FTP, but you're not going to get it in the funded account. You're going to get true slippage the way it really works, where they screw you a tick or two every so often in the account, and whatever you want to call it, you know, the cost of doing business or whatever, you're going to get screwed, and your even trading limit, you're going to get screwed in your entry points at times. It's just the way the nature of futures are. Hopefully you don't get screwed as many times as you do, but you know, slippage is part of the business as it relates to trading. So I want to wish you well, and I just wanted to share this message because I thought it was powerful, and I was humbled and deeply moved by receiving this particular email, and I wanted to, without naming the female trader, to say how thankful I was that she shared not only her experiences, but how she has been able to move almost to funded right now. So a good big shout out for her. So I'm prayers and support, and even if you don't make it this time, you've got a solid system going. Keep at it. You're in a great place. Keep at it. You're going to make it to the promised land. I believe it. Stick to your rules. Stick to the way you're doing things, and you'll be surprised how far trading can take you. So lots of wisdom shared, and I hope that you receive it. So as Joel Osteen says, I hope you've received it today. Anyway, so get into a good Bible-based church, and we'll talk to you later. This is Dave Knight here from 123daytrade.com. Have a blessed rest of your trading week. And we'll see you on the next video I put together. God bless. I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.